I'm also inviting to the stage Marina Denisuk, Vice Minister of the Ministry of Development of Communities and Territories of Ukraine, and also representative of the State Inspectorate of Agriculture and Urban Planning of Ukraine. At the same, you'll ask why we have two workers of the same entity. Digitaliz Digitalization and market control are two different departments represented today by our guests from the same inspectorate. And Ketil, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I can see there still are some people joining us from the lunch. So you're all very welcome to join. And a warm welcome to our three participants in the panel. I have several questions for you. So I think we have half an hour available for the panel. So I will start with one question to each, and we will follow up until we probably are finished in due time. So the first question goes to Marian Dencik, the Deputy Minister for Development of Communities and Territories of Ukraine. Ms. Marina, reconstruction is an opportunity for Ukraine to make a leap towards European standards. What principles of European regional and urban policy has Ukraine already begun to integrate into its own reconstruction planning system?
Dear representatives, dear colleagues, dear friends of Ukraine, first of all, it's a great pleasure to me to be here with you today. Regarding your question, I would like to jump in just for the answer. I remember the summer of 2022, where Ukraine, in the first Ukraine Recovery Conference that we renamed after the full-scale invasion, we approved Lugano principle there. And we continue to use this principle. They're eligible for all our partners and especially for Ukraine. Regarding the regional development and the European principle integrated into reconstruction. First of all, it's Build Back Better principles. It's new standards. Not just restoring what was destroyed, but implementing the new energy efficient, inclusive, and resilient solution that comply with European technical regulations and standards. These principles ensures in the law of Ukraine, approved already in reconstruction under e-recovery. It's a program mandates the use of the modern enhanced building codes, particularly regarding the energy efficiency, class lower than C, and accessibility and inclusivity. We not just talking about this principle, we use this principle. For now we have a good example of comprehensive recovery approach, where we not rebuild just one object, but the city. The city called Borodyanka, it's just next to the Kiev city. That Borodyanka was 75% destroyed or damaged after the occupation. And we decided not to rebuild one residential apartment or some schools, but we would like to recreate the community there. And we already 80% finished the reconstruction, and we use the best standards that available in the market for the Borodyanka. It related to the materials, it's related to the energy efficiency, exclusivity, some energy independence of the separate building because of the specific conditions of Ukraine and energy shutdowns. It shows that Ukraine owns the reconstruction we're not just talking about the principle, we use these principles in the practical way and would like to scale it up to another projects that we will implement in the nearest future. The second principle that very understandable for European Union and its multi-level governments and subsidiarity. The decisions and their implementation must take place at the lowest effective level, taking into account the principles of the European Charter of Local Self-Government. We have one of the successful reform in Ukraine, the decentralization reform, and especially this reform supports in our resilience. Our communities can have a lot of forces to be self-sufficient in the decision level. The key role of the communities, hromadas we call it, in planning and the prioritizing the projects. For now, we implemented the PIM reform, Public Investment Management reform, and here we have two layers, main layers. It's national and regional and communities level. And in the national level, we prepare the single project pipeline, and in every community can prepare their own prioritized and structured single project pipeline. The community initiate their project, the community prepare the pipeline. What about the transparency and digitalization? It's ensuring the complete transparency and accountability at all stages. It's a core European Union requirement. Here we, in the practice, integrated the reconstruction projects into the unified electronic system in the field of reconstructions, and use the digital reconstruction management ecosystem DREAM. This secures the several Cabinet of Ministers resolutions that harmonize the management of the state international finances with the requirements of G7 partners. Just not words, the practical way of implementation. They strengthen the cooperation with European structures. It's another principle we used. Because we now use some of the European funds, like CEF funds, CEF program that we started be a partner since 2022, and for now we have 11 packages that we implemented in competitive tender with other European Union countries. Here we not just we feel ourselves not just a country out of Europe or the country or the candidate to the member states, but the country that already the member of the European Union, and we are ready to fight for other European Union funds, because for our reconstruction we need more resources than others, and we have specific conditions and a lot of objects and cities damaged and destroyed. That is why we try to to use all European standards right now to create all legislation to be eligible for all funds that we can use for our reconstruction.
Thank you very much. I can confirm what you just said about Build Back Better. I was visiting Kyiv and Irpin 2 years back, and I was impressed how fast and to which standard you build back better. The houses, the hospitals, the social infrastructure, everything was rebuilt in a very, very good way and very, very fast. So I think it's very important that the rest of the European Union understand how fast this is developing, and that it's already, the rebuilding is ongoing as we speak. So let me continue with questions for the next speaker, which is Natalia Ishilova, Deputy Head of the State Inspection of Architecture and Urban Planning. How has the war affected Ukrainian manufacturers of construction products And what has changed the most in the market during this time?
Sure, the manufacturers are forced to work in very challenging conditions. Nevertheless, these conditions push them to introduce new, non-obvious solutions that were not considered before. What I want to indicate, facing the severe workforce hunger, new technologies were implemented, increasing significantly the efficiency of manufacturers. And new capabilities created or relocated have a great potential of implementing new technologies. On top of that, market relations changed. So construction projects were reduced in numbers. But we have more. There are volumes of manufacturing that is hard to provide. These are challenges we've been facing for a long time. Also, the energetic industry is being damaged every day. The manufacturers face issues in this field too. And so, hence the need in implementing new technologies too. Oh yeah, and here's the presentation. Am I allowed to start with the presentation now, or at first we'll be done with the questions? Okay, so we'd like to explain furthermore on the newest elaborations. During the wartime, Regulation 305 was introduced that related to introducing construction projects and providing market surveillance instruments that had been not used in Ukraine before. In 2020, construction products law was adopted that went to force in 2023. Since 2021, our entity was created, the Inspectorate of Architecture and Urban Planning, but the inspections were stopped because of the moratorium. So the bylaws preparation process has started. In 2023, the law was fully adapted, and because of that, we started preparing our inspectors, aligning them with the European standards. And in 2023, the unified manufacturer surveillance system started its operation when, and since then the manufacturers were required to report the main characteristics of their products. Nowadays, the Regulation 305 was implemented, and the Ukraine national law was adopted to putting Ukraine in compliance with all the necessary EU regulations. The control is being performed in the manufacturing facilities, so the construction sites are being delivered with materials proven to be safe and high quality. Our initiative was to introduce the market product construction product manufacturers to the European regulations to avoid a situation where they would be left alone with no knowledge how to comply with the European regulations. And we saw the manufacturers as a partner that we should work together in the market. The main approach is the control, market surveillance, and informing the consumer protection according to the EU procedure.
As of today, we would like to say that starting from 0 point, our producers, manufacturers, have more than 800 declarations registered in the e-system, and this is the equivalent declaration to the one used by the manufacturers in the EU. We also organized one-stop shop where we can inform our manufacturers about preparing these declarations, and we can support them in solving these problems. We should also note that we pay a lot of attention to marking products. We want this conformity mark to prove the safety of our products, the way it happens when marking a product CE, and so that these products can be freely supplied to the EU market. Locations where some verification of product takes place. This is according to Regulation 305. So these are places of distribution and at the point of customs control, so nothing new comparing to supplying products of the EU, from the EU, so nothing new is added. Our next steps are is first of all a willingness to sign an agreement so that we can basically implement all these initiatives. So we will keep working on expanding of the digitalization of all our inspections. We will upgrade the qualifications of our inspectors. Our confederation has organized a few initiatives, training initiatives, together with the EU representatives, and we are very grateful to all EU representatives who have been supported us for this whole year. We have learned the regulations of this new regulation 305, and so using TAIEX and twinning programs, we were able to visit a few countries using on the basis of regulation 3110, and we had also a few workshops in Lithuania. We were able to take part in some practical verifications, and we were able to see how it can be done in practice, so that we can do it in Ukraine. We also will keep working on integrating into the system safety gate, so that we can exchange information about some unsafe products.
Thank you very much. It's good to have confirmed that you are on the right path, which is always also confirmed by the European Union, that you are the assessments confirming that you are on a good way for implementing the rules from EU. Let's continue with Irina Gioan, Deputy Head of State Inspection of Architecture and Urban Planning. In the context of large-scale reconstruction, Ukraine needs effective, transparent, and understandable mechanisms for interacting with international organizations and developers. Does the digitalization of permitting procedures really simplify the entry of foreign companies into the Ukrainian construction market and contribute to increasing trust in public services?
Вітаю, колеги.
Good afternoon, dear partners and dear colleagues. First of all, I would like to thank you for standing hand in hand with us. We are moving towards victory. We are sure about that. A few background knowledge about our State Inspection of Architecture and Urban Planning. We were founded in 2021, but before that, upon the initiative of the President of Ukraine, Zelensky, we had a reform, urban planning reform. And from the very beginning, when we were founded, we faced a lot of feedback from former organizations, previously functioning organizations, but I will not tell about that. From the very beginning of our work, we decided to define a direction that we have to get rid of all the corruption risks. We wanted to create transparent rules for all market players. We wanted to implement a very easy, user-friendly and transparent digital services and establish a dialogue between the state and business. And to confirm that, in 2020, we have created, together with UK Digits, a single digital system. This system has been very strongly modified. And the main thing for us is that these services are user-friendly and digital. I can name just top 5 changes, modifications that basically simplify reception of all these permission documents, both for Ukraine citizens and not. First of all, this is a distribution of applications. It's just not possible that an official takes any random application which he or she is interested in to look through this application. These applications are distributed automatically. And before the application is closed by one official, this application cannot be overlooked or seen by any other official. Automatic inspection, automatic verification of documents. An applicant, when applying through the electronic system, this system gives some hints what elements should be added or what should be deleted. So there is basically a library that supports this program. There is also a standardized drop-down list. We know very well that previously it was misused, and this drop-down list is used by an inspector. This is a very well standardized list. Nothing should be added. Everything is very clear. So, for example, an applicant will know very clearly what to do, what to delete, or what to add in order to receive this permission. 2025 has become a breakthrough year for us. Together with the ministry, we were able to launch a mobile application. This system now verifies itself and makes decision. Once an applicant sends all the documents, the system just looks through these documents and provides a permission document. If you speak about the statistical data, now registration is around 64%, and about the intention to build 25%. In September, we have started such a program as transparent construction. And this is not only about talking about digitalization. We want to show what transparent construction means and how it functions in Ukraine. An inspector comes to a construction facility or object, and this inspector has a computer, a tablet with him or her. There is an algorithm which is very clear, and the inspector knows what he should take picture of, what objects should be verified at this construction facility. He or she should download it to the system with geolocation, and then these documents will be downloaded and processed in the system. It eliminates corruption risks, and therefore it also gives face to subcontractors and developers that basically this is non-biased and objective. We try to build trust to the state because we are a state authority, and so we are doing our best so that user-friendly and digital services are available, will be first-hand, so that a normal life is going back to our communities. We also take care of barrier-free space. This is a very important, acute issue for Ukraine. We know that this is a war raging, and barrier-free space is so important for Ukraine. So thank you so much.
We have a new panelist here as well, Gabriel Blanc. You're very welcome. You will soon have the possibility to give us some remarks from the European Commission. But before that, I will give you possibility to give some comments.
First of all, I would like to thank you for the presentation of some digital instruments that make our transparency and accountability more visible. But we are not stopped here. It's just a couple of instruments. The main digital instrument for construction, we call it big construction portal or cadastre. And in this cadastre, we have 7 registers. And for now, we are just in the second stage of the implementation of all of these registers. And when we finalize it in a couple of years, it will be the full package of instruments for digitalization. Sorry for that, because we are working many hours in a queue. That is why maybe sometimes we're a little bit tired to pronounce digitalization. We will use this all registered for full digitalization of the construction sector, and additional the BIM system. The full package of these digital instruments will support the reconstruction, because reconstructions means construction, and the construction sector should be the transparent, accountable, visible, and understandable for all players in the market. And these particular instruments can support us in the next step of the reconstruction of Ukraine. And for now, I give the floor to you, and we have a new member, and you have a very good chance to final remarks. Maybe we should summarize our discussion.
So thank you very much, and thank you, Gabriel Blanc, for being able to participate. I know you have a very busy schedule when you are here in Warsaw, and you have a very busy schedule back in Brussels as well, coordinating different initiatives from different parts of the EU Commission to give the best effort out of what the Commission are doing in respect to rebuilding Ukraine. So I will give the floor to you to give some comments from an EU perspective of the rebuilding of Ukraine. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, dear all. And very sorry that I could only came very late to join this great panel. And that's a real pleasure to speak after you, Marina. So thank you for this. Look, maybe what I should start with is the obvious, is that in reconstruction and EU accession path of Ukraine are two mutually reinforcing process, and so this is very important. Whatever we are speaking about reconstruction, to keep into account the fact that a lot of the areas that we are speaking about are covered by EU rules and standards, and this is something that should be taken into account, not only as requirements for Ukraine to become a member state of the European Union, but also because it provides a framework to work with, and it provides a framework that ensures predictability of the rules and standards that will apply. And with this predictability, this is something which is very important for private companies to work in the country. And last week only, we issued our annual flagship publication on enlargement. This is our enlargement report, where we assess the progress that Ukraine made in relation with the different directives, rules, and standards that we have. And the report actually shows that while fighting this existential war, Ukraine is making good progress on many fronts. And this is something which is quite important to notice, is that the efforts for reform is here, and indeed this is something that should continue. This being said, turning to more concretely what we are doing to support Ukraine's reconstruction efforts, so we are working very closely with the government, understanding that indeed as a first phase, very important to ensure that public investments is channeled the best manner. And for this, indeed, there is what we believe is a critical reform going on. This is the reform of the public investment management of the country, which is a fundament for the reconstruction of the country. This reform, this is all about bringing full transparency to the way public investments are being selected. This is also bringing a strategic approach to public investments, transparent methodology for selection and prioritization of the projects. So these are very important things to make sure that whatever amount of resources is available to be invested, it is done in the best manner. So very happy to work with the government on that, and with the Ministry of Development in particular. This is important, and this public investment management, this is not only at national level, this is also obviously very important at oblast level and at municipal level. And so this is really a multifold reform that actually entails a change, a cultural change on the way to approach public investment. And certainly you spoke already about DREAM, which will be a key IT tool that will support the public investment management reform of the country. In order to support public investments on our side, so this is not only about supporting reforms, but also bringing investment means in the public sector. And so we are working with partners, with financing institutions. I see many of them here, the World Bank, the Council of Europe Bank, EBRD, and also European financing institutions, in view of de-risking their public investments in Ukraine, and also bringing an element of grants, of concessional financing through grants to a number of reconstruction projects. Last month, we agreed on a new programs that will be announced a bit later today here. For instance, with the European Investment Bank on social housing, which is very good, very positive. We are very happy about that. And we see actually the link between the reforms that the government is actually pushing for at the moment and bringing the financial capacity to implement social housing programs that will actually comply with these reforms. Just an example, we are working also on water recovery with the European Investment Bank and many other initiatives. So that's for the public part. Obviously, no public money will be enough to actually meet the needs for the reconstruction in Ukraine. So we are also working to crowd in private investments. This is something very important for us, very important also for us to bring in new European players to Ukraine. This is about market integration in practice, having European companies that know how to operate in the EU single market, that will start working in Ukraine and bringing their knowledge in Ukraine, and also expanding their value chains to Ukraine, putting Ukraine in the European mind map of investors. To do that, we are organizing regularly call for expressions of interest for private companies, and it proved to be quite successful. We are the second one, and each time we had more than 100 companies coming to us to pitch their investment proposals, and so that's something which is quite positive. And then we de-risk the financing in view of financing these projects. So this is something which is ongoing at the moment, on which we are quite happy with, to see such an interest for the European business community to invest in Ukraine today. Well, maybe I will stop here. I was already long, but thank you very much for inviting, and once again apologize that I came so late.
Thank you very much for your contribution. And let's be the concluding remarks as well from Gabriel Blanc and from the Commission. It's very glad to have you here. And thanks to all the panelists for your contribution today. I think we managed more or less inside the time. So thank you very much.